Okay guys, guess who's back with another exciting tutorial? That's right, it's me, and today we're going to talk about looping sound files. And there are many reasons that you want to loop a sound file. For example, you want to loop just a part of a longer, soundtrack to extend the length to match your footage, for example, or whatever reasons. Maybe to create some ambient noise that you want to use in Flash or whatever. So today we're going to talk about how we can do that. I'm going to show you a few different approaches and a few different cases, because it all really depends on your sound file. There's no universal solution to this. So let's get started. I got a file here that I got from stockmusic.net, I think. And let's just listen to this for a little bit.
This is a demo for stockmusic.net.
Yeah, stockmusic.net, as you heard. Yeah, so let's just say it has, it's like 3 minutes.
This is a demo for stockmusic.net.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes. So let's say that we want to extend this just a little bit, and we want to extend this first bit that we have in here. So basically the first thing you need to learn when you're dealing with audio is having the ability to read this graph. And also we've got many different views. This is waveform view, this is spectral frequency display, which is also very cool and useful, but for some other cases. In here you can definitely see where the guy is talking right now. You can see some patterns in here, but now the patterns just break. And this is also an MP3, which is not a good starting point in general, but I had to go with MP3s because this is what I got as a demo. So
this is a demo for stockmusic.net.
Right, you can definitely hear him in here. Okay, so let's just start. Let's go back to the waveform view, because this is something that you might be familiar with already. And let's just find a nice place. I think this is the place when he talks, and this is the place when he talks. So let's just see.
This is a demo for stockmusic.net.
Yeah. And we also need to just find the beat and see how long it takes for one what's the name, bar. Yeah, that's it. How long is one bar, how many beats there are. And there are some tools to help you with that, but definitely you can just hear it. So let's just listen to the file again.
This is a demo for stockmusic.net.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So let's just listen to it again and find a starting point. This is a starting point, good starting point. And in this kind of music, it's pretty easy to see because you've got those high values in here, right? This hits and beats. So this is a good starting point, and we'll just place the marker in here, just more or less in the right position. Okay, and here's the second one, and we want to loop this little piece in here. So we just made a selection. I hold shift to make a selection, and I also hold shift near the right edge to change it, and the same thing with the right edge, so like this. So I'm going to position this very roughly like this, and let's just see if it works, if I was lucky. Well, it's not bad, but there's this little click, and I'm pretty sure that this click is not part of the wave. It's actually an artifact caused by the loop itself. Listen when the marker goes through this point. Did you hear it? Once again. Okay, and to get rid of that, the reason it happens, let me just copy this little piece and paste it into a new file, and paste 2 instances of the same thing so we can see it better. I just pasted it in. Let's select this little piece in here. This is the point when they meet, and let's just zoom in. This is the reason we have an abrupt change in the waveform, and this never happens in nature, never like that. And actually there's this red line that goes in here, and this is the 0 point. And what you want to do when you're creating a loop is to make sure that the beginning of your loop and the end of your loop are so-called zero crossings. So basically that the waveform is actually at the 0 marker, and it goes in the same direction that is going to go after the merge, I guess. So when this one was going down, this one should also go down. So we should have it in here, it goes up, right? So we should have it like this, more or less, and now the click will be gone, I hope. See, now we have just the beat, we don't have this nasty click. Let me just undo this and listen. Okay, I didn't hear it this time. Okay, maybe it was like something else, some artifact, and just looping the sound file at runtime, whatever. But those things happen. Really, believe me, they happen. And maybe I can even try to produce something like that, like fake it so we can actually hear, so I don't look totally like a fool. And let's take this. Yeah, let's take this piece out and let's just go like this. Nope, doesn't work. Okay, I feel really silly right now, but this is probably because the nature of this sound file is pretty hard to hear. But okay, believe me, those things are there, and to get rid of those, yeah, I have even something to prove that I'm right. To get rid of those things, there's an option in addition, and it's been here for ages: 0 crossings. And what you want to do usually is adjust selection inward. So basically, from this marker you look for the 0 crossing this way, and from this marker you look for the 0 crossing this way. So basically inwards. And you mightn't see a change because, like you see, you didn't see the change right here when I clicked it, but it's there. Remember that sound files are sampled at rates of 22 or 44 or 48, whatever. Those are high values. It's just like having 44,000 frames per second. So imagine that. Those changes are really small, but they really make the difference. So let's just listen to it, and right now we shouldn't have any problems. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Nice beat. Okay, so you would just copy this and make the selection length 0, so the marker returns to the original position. And now if you want to paste it like several times, just inside this file, you can just do mix paste, I guess, and you select insert and loop paste like 4 times, right? 4 times should be fine. And just like that,
stockmusic.net.
it works, right? Okay, so this is one simple thing. You can also, since we've got it in our clipboard, you can just paste it in and just save it as a WAV file and then use it in Flash or whatever. So this is one example. The second example, oops, I don't want to save this. No. The second example is, here's another file from stockmusic.net, and we're going to do basically the same thing with it. Let's just try to identify a good place to make a loop. We got a nice bass line. Yeah, this is way too far because we've got this saxophone going crazy, and we don't want to loop that because that would be like very obvious. Really nice. Okay, this is too far once again. Okay, I think this part will be good because we've got like 2 bars, I think. Yeah. Okay, so this is where the bass starts, more or less. Okay, so let's just zoom in and try to identify the place where it starts. we can definitely see an abrupt change in here in the waveform. So I guess this is the place where it starts, and when we zoom out, it looks like it makes sense. So let's just zoom out just a little bit more so we can grab the other end. Okay, and this looks like another like our loop point. When you're going to do this, you know, more and more, your eye it's going to get trained at seeing those things just like instantly, so you wouldn't even have to listen to the waveform, or just, you know, listen very roughly to know where you are. Let's just listen to the loop. Works pretty well. I don't think there's actually anything more that we can do with this. So the same thing, you can copy it, save it, extend it, or whatever. You can also copy this, paste it into a new file, and go to multi-track view, which is a really the main reason why I'm using Audition, and it's very nice. Let me just unsolo those layers. Okay, so here we can click on, right click and select loop properties, and then just enable looping, simple looping, because we can also repeat every 8 bits or whatever once we set up the tempo and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Let's just use simple looping without any gaps, and now we can just simply extend this wave file and just play it back like that. Right, and once we're pretty happy with it, we've got the length that we were looking for. So for example, 4 duplicates of these 2 bars, so right here. And now we want to go crazy with this saxophone, so let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, so this is what we need. And let's just take this file again, this was it, and let's just try to look for that place again. I should have done that before, mark it somehow or whatever, but we can just solo this layer and try to find it. Okay. Okay, looks like it's matched up pretty well. So if I just do it like that, because this is the place when another bar starts, and this is actually more or less the place where our loop starts. Well, it's exactly the place where our loop starts. So we can just trim it like this, and this is non-destructive. I can extend it the other way again whenever I like, and I just move it in here, and this should work out pretty well. Let's just listen to this. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, and here we go. Very nice. So we can use this technique to extend your actual track to whatever length you like. Of course, you have to keep track of the number of bars, because you don't want the track to go, you know, out of rhythm or something. But I guess you can do that like you know, intuitively, because if you're dealing with music, you probably have you know, a good ear or something. So okay, that's it. Let's just get rid of those 2 tracks in here, and we're going to move to something more difficult. Let's see, why did I put this file in here? Okay, I definitely have something already selected, but let's just listen to this file. Oh yeah, this is actually the intro music for my tutorials. Yeah. Okay, so we have a nice place to loop, like 4 bars or something like that. Let's just listen to this. This is the starting point, and this is probably the ending point, because we got a high we got a beat in here going in, so this is probably a bar. Okay, let's check it out. Yeah, it's not bad actually, but I think that we have this this little thing in here just at the beginning. I don't know if you hear it. Oh, sorry guys, I need to close the window. Maybe you don't hear it, but I hear it and it disturbs me. Just a second. Much better. Okay, so there's this little at the beginning. Try to listen to it. Just after the loop. So right now. Did you hear it? Well, I hope you did, because we're going to get rid of it. And just to make things easier, we're going to copy this and paste it into a new file. There's actually a function called paste to new, but I'm just kind of used to doing it the old way, you know, new, paste it in. So to fix that, I think we should focus on the beginning. And as you can see, I didn't actually match at the start of the bar, because I've got something at the beginning. So I guess this is the start of the bar, something in here, so we can just try to delete it. And also what you want to avoid is having your WAV file starting off the 0 point. So what I usually do, I just select, you know, like a small piece. Like I said, those are 44,000 frames per second in terms of video. So there are many samples, so if I just zoom it really tightly and I go to favorites and fade in, it's going to fix the problem for me. That might occur, you know, the same thing that I talked about at the beginning that I didn't really manage to show you with those off-zero crossing thingies. Well, we still have this zip, so probably we should move a little bit further. Let's try this. Yeah, this one is better, so we can get rid of all this piece at the beginning and just zoom in, fade in very tightly and see how that works. Well, yeah, I guess this is fine, more or less. I probably cut out the wrong piece. I should have selected a little bit more. You know what, instead of saying that I should do something, maybe I'll just try to do it again and the right way. So let's just select a little bit more than we actually need. Where is the other bit? Yeah, here it is. So let's just go like this. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go to multi-track view. Let's just go back to edit and go to this file, because this one is empty. Paste it in again, and this is it. Okay, and I think there's a cool trick that we can try. We've got this. Let me just turn off the looping. See, this is the start of the next bar, and I think that if we fade out in here, fade out, and select just this little bit in here, we can cut it, and we can find a nice place to start the loop. Like in here, we can cut this out, select like one bit, fade it in, and we can also paste what we've just copied in here, and we can use overlap. And let's overlap it like with 70% maybe, without looping. And yeah, that should be fine. So let's just try it. Dum, 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 dum. Boom, boom. Oh, sorry, forgot to turn the looping on. Yeah, this works pretty nice. And there we go, another loop. So Now we're going to move to something really advanced. This was easy stuff because we had beats, you know, bars and everything. It was pretty easy to hear. And now we're going to move to something that may seem easier, and in some terms it is, but in general it's a bit more difficult. And it's about ambient noises. And I've got a nice ambient noise in here. I think this is the part I'm interested in. Yes, listen to this. Okay, so what if we want to loop that, right? To create this like long ambient noise. I'm just going to select this little piece and of course copy it. And maybe let's use this great new function, paste to new. And voila, there we go. Okay, so let's just clear up something from the end, and maybe let's just do a small fading at the beginning, like so, and fade out at the end, like so. Okay, so this is what we have to work with, and this is also the place where multi-track view comes in handy, because it's really hard to match those things up, like I did with the mixed pasting just a second ago. It's very hard to match this when you don't actually see the bars visually in the waveform view. So we're going to move to multi-track now, and I'm just going to put this one in like so, and I'll try to determine the beat, so you know, the tempo and everything. Let's just listen to it very carefully once again and see if we can work this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think that's it. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this little bit in here, I think this is a good place to as a reference point, to use as a reference point. And the way we're going to use it is we're actually going to put another duplicate of the same wave file, and I think that we can match it up with this place, because this is also where the beat starts. We've got the first hit, right? So some ambient noises just finish up in here, and this is where the new beat starts with those drums and everything. So let's just see how this works out. Okay, that's pretty good. But what do we do with this, right? What, do we have to duplicate it like that, you know, each time you want to extend this? Well, not really, but you need to do it a few times just to get it right. And I'll just show you how. So we're going to use another duplicate, just like that, and see if it's going to work this time. Which one did we use? I think it was... Okay, it was the third one, so this is it. Okay, I don't know if you see those things. Well, I do, because like you know, I've been doing this for a long time, so I kind of see those things. So this is the way to match it up, very roughly, because we don't have a very distinct beat in here, so we can do it roughly. And let's just listen to this and see if this works. And since we're using the same wave file, so the length of each of them is the same, so we can easily calculate, bah, we don't even have to calculate how long the loop file is going to be, and it's going to be exactly the same length as this one. It's something similar that I did in the looping tutorial. I'm talking, and we didn't hear if it works. Just hold on for a second. yeah, works out pretty well. And this is actually the same technique that I used in the seamless background looping tutorial that I did. So I basically took a layer, cut it in half, then just switched places and do some cross fading. This is very similar, and actually I think that we're good to go with this, and the only thing left to do is to see if this little piece will loop. So I'm just selecting the internal piece and pressing play with loop. Of course, then there's an abrupt start, right? We don't have any fade in, but that's what you get when doing those kind of loops. But then again, I'm going to show you how to fix that in a second. Okay, so now we've got this main file playing this one, and now this one comes in very slightly. And now the whole trick is that this place should match up with this place, because this length is actually the same. So listen to this. Well, more or less. So let's just see what we can do about it. Maybe we didn't match it up correctly. Maybe we should match it up with this one. Just like that. Just see if this works. This is ambient, so even though the whole math behind it, like I explained, the same wavelength and blah blah blah, it should work. Well, in some cases it just doesn't. So it's a little bit trial and error. Well, let's just see. Let's just move forward. Oh, this is fun. Funny wave. Okay. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I guess we can go with that. So, okay, let's just see if this little point where the other wave comes in matches up. Yeah, this is good. And actually, if we move this one like one bit further, maybe we should do the same thing with this one, because we started it here and we should have been started in here. So let's just move it like that and then readjust this one. Okay, come on. And like this. Okay, let's just see if this one will work a little bit better, maybe. Okay, it's okay in this place, so let's just move forward and see how this works here. Should be the same, right? Okay, good, and now the looping point. Let's see how this works. Ah, crap. Oh, sorry, guys. Loop. Okay, once again. Unfortunately, I have to, just move it forward like this, because otherwise I'm going to lose the selection. Okay, let's see. What's wrong? Did I press this button or this button? If I press this one, then I'm just, stupid. But on the other hand, it's a nice piece of music, right? Like, you probably enjoy listening to it, so why should I speed it up? Let's just listen and enjoy the music. Well, no, I don't like it. The first version was a little bit better, I guess. So let's just undo, and let's go with this. That was okay. So we simply select this little piece, right-click in here, and choose Mix Down to New File for selected range in stereo, of course. And that's what we are doing right now. And we've got ourselves a file which is looping seamlessly, like we heard just a second ago. So we've got a nice loop in here, very good. And let's just go back to the multi-track view. So what we can actually do to make it sound a little bit better, like, you know, we don't have this abrupt start. Well, it's actually very easy, because once we have it as a loop, we can, for example, use loop properties like we did before, enable looping, click OK, extend it, and simply fade it in like that, and then just save it as a file or whatever, you know. But on the other hand, what if we actually want to use everything that was before we did this loop, right? So let's just get rid of this and those and those and those. And this, I guess this was this file. So let's just put it in on solo. And where's this piece? This is it, I guess. Yes. Okay, so let's just get rid of everything else in here, and let's just focus on this first part. Since we got it in this original wave file, let me just extend it like that. We can now put our mix down, our loop file that we did, and just try to match it up. And I think that this point represents this in here. So let's just listen if those two match. We should have it soloed it out. I'm a little bit off, as you hear, but that's kind of cool effect, I guess. Oh, here we got a nice sample point, so we see that it should be like this. Okay, let's listen to it again. Almost. It's hard to tell which one is the right one, but which direction is the right one. But I guess if we move it like this, no, that's not right. So we just have to match it up again. I'm using the right mouse button to move the file, just in case you're wondering. Okay, I think we can go with that, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a crossfade. And the cool thing in Audition 3 is that it handles crossfades automatically. So we could do it, you know, like that, just like this or like this, and then use this handler to go like that. But on the other hand, we can just simply take this file and drop it on top of this one, and Audition creates a crossfade automatically for us. So that's pretty cool. So let's just listen how it sounds. Very nice. And now, since this is a loop, we can just simply extend it, of course turn on the loop properties that we did turn off by accident, and just go like this, and we've got ourselves a nice loop. And then as some final touch-ups, we can go to the mixer and for example, we can turn on the effects. Where is the effect window? Effects rack, that's it. Let me just bring it in here, and we can add some master reverb to this. Let's just go with studio reverb, and yeah, let's just use the mastering reverb preset. That's it. And the cool thing is that this is actually real time. It has to think for a second at the beginning, but then it all works out pretty well. So let's just try to listen to this. Reverbs may help covering up things that went wrong when doing looping, because it doesn't always work out, you know. So let's just move forward to this place and see if this helps us. Maybe just a little bit. I could probably pump up the volume up a little bit, but anyway, I think we're going to end the tutorial here. I hope you've learned something, and if you have any specific questions about looping sound files on you, or you maybe have some problems with looping a specific wave file that you have to work with, do not hesitate, leave me a comment, or just use Skype to contact me, either by text or by voice, or just simply drop me an email. So once again, guys, this is Maltan. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and see you next time. Happy additioning!